Happy Wednesday to you, Black Healing Matters family. This is Danielle here at the Black Healing Matters podcast, where we offer you ideas to simply move you one step closer to your healing. Happy Wednesday. This Wednesday, hopefully, you're having a fantastic Welcome Wellness Wednesday. And as we have been celebrating this month, the entire month of May, as Meditation Month, I'd like to share with you some of the wonderful responses we received from some of our loyal listeners about some of the self healing and meditative practices that they engage in. You'd be surprised. Okay. There are so many different amazing forms of self healing, meditation, and just overall, meditative practices that truly make a huge difference. Don't take my word for it, okay? Take a minute and listen to what some of our listeners had to say about their own meditative and healing practices.
Danielle, hey, I was just listening to your podcast in regards to self-healing. Yes, the key is actually an extension coming from ancient Chinese method called qi, which is also life energy and self-healing. I wanted to send you a video. Famous author Unji Chow, I believe his name is. He was at the 2012 and Beyond conference. Yeah, I study Tai Chi, so it really talks more about the Tao and the Dan Chen in self-healing. Just like karate, it's basically an extension of Kung Fu. And you're right, there's also proof that a lot of those methods actually came out of Africa. So, but I'll talk more to you about it, and I'll send you an email. All right, peace.
Hey, Danielle, it's Barbara J. Faison from the Why Struggle podcast, your podcast playbook buddy. Yes, I am familiar with Reiki. I received my level 2 certification last October, and I too practice Reiki on myself every day, and I absolutely love it. It is such a wonderful way to connect with your body, mind, and spirit, and I just love it. So, there are in Atlanta, there are a lot of African American people who are practicing Reiki and Reiki masters. In fact, my meditation person that taught me Reiki is level 3 certified. She's been certified for probably 10 to 12 years. But I look forward to our conversations about meditation so we can talk about all this kind of stuff. So I look forward to interviewing you and being connected again. Be well.
Wow, so if you didn't know, now you know. Black Healing Matters family, we are out here doing it, okay? So, whether it's uh, Qigong or Kung Fu or Tai Chi or Reiki, whatever it is you're doing, keep on keeping on. And I'm so thankful for my listeners who call in and give me that feedback, because it's that kind of feedback that lets me know, hey, I'm not alone. We are not alone. Okay. And so if you never heard of some of those forms of meditation, we did talk about Reiki last week. So just pop on over to last week's episode of Welcome Wellness Wednesday and you can hear a little bit about that. As well, today we have a brand new form of, I won't call it meditation, but I'll call this one energy work, because this particular technique is really used in cases of to promote forgiveness and an overall state of restoration between people in relationships, particularly. And couldn't we all use a little bit of restoration, in our relationships? And then we've all had relationships that somehow went sideways. you know? And they've left us with a lot of emotions that are sometimes trapped within us, within our bodies. And those trapped emotions lead to all kinds of problems, from, of course, mental to also physical illness. And so this method that we're going to talk about today actually originated in Polynesian culture in Hawaii, particularly. It was popularized by the therapist Dr. Hugh Lin and Joe Vitale. And Joe Vitale is a very famous, he's kind of a heavyweight in the space of self development and personal development. So if you're familiar with that space, then you've probably heard of Joe Vitale. He has several books, one of which is called Zero Limits. And that's where he really introduced this technique called Ho'oponopono. Yes, let's say it with me, okay? Ho'oponopono. That's right. Ho'oponopono is as complicated as it sounds, as kind of strange as it sounds. It's very simple. And it consists of four basic mantras. And these four basic mantras, the idea behind this is to clear the energy, okay, and rebalance ourselves, our consciousness. And this can have, of course, um, conscious but also unconscious and physical effects as well. Okay, so this is a great healing method. If you have someone that you need to forgive, or if you're kind of holding on to some emotional baggage that you know is not good for you, right? You already know it just doesn't feel good anymore, and that you've been holding on to it too long. Okay? So, those four basic mantras can be said in any order. And the idea is that you first want to get into a state where you're focused, mentally focused on this person that you want to release. And as you do that, you want to kind of bring them into your mind's eye and focus your attention on them, seeing them in their humanness. And it's okay if you have emotions that come up, if there's anger, if there's whatever, but really you're trying to see them. Your focus is not really on your feelings, it's more so just on them, on them and their humanness. And you want to state the first mantra to them. And again, they can be said in any order you feel comfortable. But the first one I'll say is thank you. And as you say thank you may be wondering, well, what can I be thankful for from this person? Well, every person comes into our existence for a reason. They're there to teach us something, and often they reflect something to us that we need to learn, we need to see and clear up within ourselves as well. So, at minimum, thank them for that. At best, they probably have contributed something else to you. And like I said, at minimum, though, they've probably taught you something and illuminated a part of you that you'd rather not see, and therefore you needed their help to see it. Next, please forgive me. That is the second mantra. Please forgive me. And as you're looking at them, asking for their forgiveness. And you can be asking their forgiveness for holding on so long, for holding this grudge for so long. This person could not even, could be dead or alive. And if they're no longer with us, you may be carrying some guilt or regret about not reaching out to them. So you simply say, please forgive me. And you mean it. Okay? Next, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And when you say I'm sorry, this is really you taking responsibility for whatever part, big or small, you played in this situation. I'm sorry. And again, this is genuine statements. This is not just lip service, okay? It's useless. But if you can find it in your heart to actually mean this, it's very powerful. And last but not least, the last mantra is very powerful. I love you. Now, the power of love is one of the highest vibrations there is. And so these 4 mantras, said very intentionally and deliberately to someone who you feel may not necessarily deserve your forgiveness, but you're going to do both of you a favor and do it anyway, can be such a powerful way to release that person. And you will find that after you do this, things will start to shift, as did Dr. Hugh Lin, as he was working in a psychiatric ward in a hospital, where he was, because of the security restrictions, he was unable to see some of his patients. So he just simply sat in his office reviewing these people's files. And as he would review their files, he said these 4 mantras. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And by doing that, he was able to make huge shifts, not just in himself, but in these individuals. And they, in turn, were healed by the clearing of this energy. And now, this may sound kind of woo-woo to you. Fine. Like, okay, here we go. But is it not worth a try? At minimum, it will definitely make you feel good. Okay? So on that note, Black Healing Matters family, I love you. And I hope that you're having a great week. Please do call in. Let me know how you feel about this particular method. Again, it's called Ho'oponopono. And again, it's very simple. Let me know how you feel after going through that session, after actually doing this. How do you feel? Have you ever experienced this before? And if so, I'd love to hear from you. If this is your first time, I'd love to hear how you feel. And on that note, stay blessed. And as always, Black Healing Matters.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.